Kingdom Hall Jehovah's Witnesses House Congregation. May I help you?
Yeah, I just had a question I was wondering if someone could help me with.
Yes?
Do you have time?
Yes. Hold on. Yes. Yeah,
okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was talking to some Jehovah's Witnesses. They were out at a park, and I thought it was so cool what they said, how the organization always admits its mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was just wondering, I saw this, I was doing some more research into it, and I was reading about the generation that saw 1914 wouldn't pass away until the peaceful and secure new world came. And that was the Creator's promise.
Yes.
That was in the Awake magazine every month when it came out. But they just changed the words a little bit in 1995. And it said that they took out the 1914 and just said...
And put 1913.
No, they just didn't put any date. They said the peaceful new world is about to replace the wicked system of things. That was in 1995. So they obviously felt that had expired because the people that saw the events of 1914 have died.
Well, what they're saying is that, how can I explain this to simplify it? There's an overlap. Okay, so there are some that are still alive, and then there are some that did pass away. They were talking originally about some of the anointed, and the ones that, you read Revelation about the 144,000 that will rule in heaven with Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I actually read something about the overlapping generation. It's like the sixth or seventh different explanation of generation they've had. And doesn't it seem to you like they just made that up because the other predictions had expired? I mean, it doesn't even...
No.
Why couldn't they see that in the Bible and no one else previously has seen that that's what Jesus meant? I mean, it's so contrived,
Gosh, if it wasn't for the meeting just beginning to start, I could more or less direct you to where, and we could discuss together exactly. They didn't make it up, and it really hasn't been modified like 6 or 7 times.
Oh, it has. Who
the
generation was, like they used to say, people that were old enough to understand what was going on in 1914, and then they changed it to younger, and they finally changed it to like babies, like anyone born in 19... They changed it gradually.
Okay.
I have that research. But I was just wondering, especially with this change in the Awake magazine, it seems like they just snuck that in, kind of. And did they make an announcement about that they were admitting that was wrong?
No. See, I'm not really sure where you... No, I didn't say that. I'm not really sure where you're getting your information. And you're saying it's like from the Awake
magazine, the preface.
All right, which one?
Let's see. All of them said that before 1995 in the little... A preface is just like right in the beginning.
Hold on just one second.
Oh, sure.
Hold on. And she had a question, and I think you're in better position to explain it than I can. I could, but it's going to take some time. Hello?
Hi, I was just asking him about a question that I had. Do I need to start all over again?
Who's calling?
Christine. Well, I was talking to some witnesses, and I thought it was really impressive how they said that the organization always admits their mistakes. Which is such a good thing, But I had wondered about this one thing that they had in the preface of the Awake magazine for some years, that the people that saw the events of 1914, before those all died, the new world would be here. They said that was the Creator.
They thought they were going to be called to heaven, yes.
No, it said that the new
I'm
world...
not sure if I'm hearing you right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It said the new world, it says it's the Creator's promise, so they're saying it like that it's from, that God says this, that a peaceful and secure new world will be here before the generation that saw the events of 1914 passes away.
Oh, there's lots of newer information about the generation in our literature.
Right. They said that was the Creator's promise. So they were speaking that in the name of God, in the name of Jehovah. And then they changed the wording just a little bit in 1995 to take out the 1914 date and just says the New World is about to replace the wicked system. Because obviously that had expired because anybody who saw those things has died, you know. So that doesn't seem like admitting anything. It just seems like
can I do something? You know, we're just about for a meeting. We have the circuit overseer's visit today. You know anything about circuit overseer?
Was it a big deal or something?
It's a traveling representative that comes and spends a week with us. And I
fun.
care for some things. I'd be happy to take your information and get back to you.
Well,
Is that okay?
Are you familiar with that change in the Awake magazine?
I can't remember exactly what you're, but you know, my mind is too many.
Yeah, I know it's a very specific.
I conduct a Watchtower study today too.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, it's when they changed it, the first change.
Right, but I'm saying I don't really have time right now. So
I know.
If you want to
Maybe
give me
you can.
some
No,
information
that's okay.
or your number, I'll get back to you.
I just wanted to see if you know where they talked more about it and admitted it, because it seems like just sneakily changing that word in the front is not really admitting. It's just kind of like, oh yeah.
We just see that there's progressive light. You know, nobody is infallible. You know.
Yeah,
so.
They said it was the Creator's promise. They didn't say it was their own thought. So
but I told you again. So you're not what I asked you to
right.
do. So
right.
Okay.
Right.
I don't know if you want to give me information or not, or.
Well, I just wanted to see what anybody thought about it, because they said, you know, Deuteronomy 18.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go, okay?
Deuteronomy 18.
Unless you want to give me your information.
You shouldn't speak.
Good morning.
Hi, is this the Kingdom Hall?
It is.
Oh, yeah, can you hear me okay?
Hold on just a second.
Okay.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I just had a question I was wondering if someone could help me with.
Okay.
Well, some witnesses told me the best website to research on is jw.org.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask about something I saw on there.
Okay.
Well, first I wanted to ask, do you guys trust in God?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you trust in His promises?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Because the reason I'm asking that is about this thing I found in the Awake magazine. It used to be in the front of the Awake magazine, and it said that. Do you hear like a weird buzz, or is that just me hearing that?
It's probably the phone lines. After the storm, the phone lines never were restored quite like they were.
Oh, okay.
It's a Kingdom Hall full of people, so.
But you can hear me okay?
You hearing dolphins?
No, but you can hear me okay?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay. I'm hearing kind of a buzz. But anyways, well, what it says in the front of the Awake magazine is, well, what it used to say is that this magazine builds confidence in the Creator's promise of a peaceful and secure new world before the generation that saw the events of 1914 passes away. So when you see that and it said that it's the Creator's promise, does that challenge your faith in God's promises?
No, the Creator is God.
Right. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
But that didn't come true. They had to change it in 1995. They took out that specific statement and just said the new world is about to come, which they said that in 1995. So, they're admitting that it wasn't true, but they said it was the Creator's promise. That's the issue there.
Well, do you have your personal Bible with you?
Sure.
Okay, there's a scripture that's in Proverbs.
Oh, you mean the light gets brighter?
Huh?
The light gets brighter.
It does. It seems like you've studied before.
Yeah, well, I'm familiar with that verse, but how does that...
Were you ever a witness?
No. How does that go? How does that answer saying things are the Creator's promise when they're not?
Because the truth is progressive. Like you find a lot of religions that they'll find out that hell is not a hot place based on the Bible, but they won't change it. Or they may find out later on that, okay, this earth is going to be a paradise, but they won't change it. And so
okay. Oh, okay.
More than happy to
go
along with brighter light, brighter
then I have a question. Yeah, I have a question about that. Teaching something this false for so long, is what they teach now also could be, completely false in 50 years?
No.
They don't act like it is.
Well, it's based on the Bible. And if you look into the Bible and you have confidence in the Bible and confidence in our Creator God, you know that. Even Jesus, when he was on earth and he was talking to his disciples, he didn't tell them everything at once because sometimes they just couldn't handle it. He told them.
Preaching a false prediction is not the same as not telling somebody something. I'm not sure what your point is. Did you ever read the test of false prophets in Deuteronomy 18? They don't really reference that verse too much.
And learning something about the truth in the Bible, we'd be happy to discuss it, but I'm not going to debate the truth about what we teach.
Well, some witnesses told me it would be good to research on your website, so I think it's a fair enough question. It's a fair enough question. I found it on jw.org, and then a while after this, they came up with overlapping generation and call it new light. Well, anybody else looking at it would think they're just trying to buy more time.
Well, anybody that's really sincere about learning the truth
believes everything they say?
No, it's not everything.
Okay, so you can't really test them at all, ever, no matter what they say. Did you ever read the test of a false prophet in Deuteronomy 18?
Of course I have.
So what does it say? How do you test for a false prophet?
Like I said, if you really are interested in learning about the truth, we'd be more than happy to discuss this.
Well, you don't seem interested in the truth in Deuteronomy 18. It's just a Bible passage. You said you were really familiar with it. What is the test of a false prophet?
Ma'am, like I said, I'm not about to debate this with you.
It's just a scripture. I noticed they don't like that scripture very much. They almost never reference it. Deuteronomy 18:20 through 22. You can test someone who speaks for God, who claims to speak for God like they do, by the fact that what they say doesn't come to pass.
And so what's your point about that?
Well, the Jehovah's Witnesses are famous for setting dates that haven't come to pass, or time parameters like this generation.
I'm not understanding what your point is.
Well, Deuteronomy 18:20 through 22 says that's the test of a false prophet, and don't listen to or fear.
Well, then you don't have to. That's your choice, sweetheart. That's your choice.
It's Jehovah's arrangement. Why don't you like it?
Why don't you like it?
I do. I like Jehovah's arrangement of how to test for a false prophet. Do you put the Watchtower above the Bible?
I do not.
Then what's your answer to that passage?
I don't understand what you're even asking me. You're trying to say that Jehovah's Witnesses are false prophets?
They're famous for that. The world over. It's an apocalyptic end times doomsday group. They're famous for that. Have you ever researched the history?
What is your name? I'm sorry.
Christine.
Christine. I'm Lisa.
Hi.
I am very happy with being one of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh.
And if you don't like Jehovah's Witnesses, then that's fine. If you
no,
don't like what
I
we
do. I
fine.
love you guys that are in Jehovah's Witnesses, but I don't like what they do to people. I don't like because they are. Have you ever researched the history?
How can you love Jehovah's Witnesses and you say we're false prophets?
The individuals are not false prophets. Some of you all don't even know their history. They don't really talk about it very much. And they just say the light gets brighter so they can false prophesy and say it's from the spiritual food is from Jehovah, right?
Well, sweetie, like I say, honest-hearted people that really do want to serve Jehovah and serve Jehovah with the organization that he has chosen, if that's the case, they will find it. I'm confident of that.
Honest-hearted people will do their research, is what you guys tell people to do. So a great way to do research is just the site Wikipedia has a ton about their history that you won't find on.
What makes Wikipedia such an authoritative site?
Well, you can fact check all the reference they give from the literature. So it's not really questionable.
I choose not to.
You choose not to?
I do.
It is scary how they trap people because I know they threaten you with being shunned by all your family and friends.
That's not true.
Oh, okay.
That's not true.
Oh, I've seen it on the broadcast. They showed this poor woman had to shun her daughter that was trying to call her on the phone. they're trying to give a guilt trip if you would answer a phone call from your own daughter. Did you see that one?
Have a good day.
Check out